fries down and walk away. I am in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. There's 3 whole kids in this pool and they happen to be around here screaming.
If you want to tamper with your career in this way, that's up to you and your broker, who I know, by the way, and probably wouldn't be okay with this strategy.
The main thing that people forget is these cracks happen for one reason and one reason only.
Since Jeremy passed away 2 years ago, I've really been thinking about the things that I'm really passionate about: houselessness, LGBTQ plus initiatives.
It is my job, my license, my life, my career, my everything if I do not disclose that, but I knew it. And so here was the cool part. We did the sunset part, we came back, and then...
Hold on. There are some small children, like, murdering themselves in the background or something?
Moms have gotten involved.
The water crashing on the beach behind you is just so relaxing.
The kids screaming has been just delightful.
Delightful. Dad's ready. He's like, this is it.
It's an infinity pool, and he is thinking, like, to infinity and beyond her ass.
Welcome to the Moxie and Jana show.
I mean, we are spilling some real tea up in her, okay?
So we have aptly named our little show, Spillin' Real Tea with Jana and Moxie.
Get it? Tune in and listen to us share all our crazy, wildly unbelievable crap that we see, do, and navigate in the insane world of real estate.
And we're talking everything.
We got it all, y'all.
Straight out of KC, and we spillin' it.
Well, hello. You look like you are getting quite the nice little tan going on there. Where are you at, Moxie?
I'm working on it. I am in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. True story.
Mexico.
Yeah, and that's the beach. So you know how when some people do like Zooms or calls or whatever, they have this fake...
That's their background, fake.
Nah. This is real. And all the little
this is
kids...
legit.
Like, there's 3 whole kids in this pool and they happen to be around here screaming. So y'all are just going to have to deal whatever. Okay?
Hey, this is real life, man. Real life.
What
right
I want to
there.
tell him is shut up for 25 minutes.
Shut the fuck up.
You know,
yes,
you can't
please.
do that. It's rude and stuff. I don't know.
You just like slip them a little bit of whiskey, you know.
Yeah. On their gums.
Nobody
That's what
will
they
be
say.
mad.
Yeah. No, just stop yelling. Go play somewhere else. Stop. Whatever. First world problems.
Oh my God. We have quite an interesting story time to do this go round. And I was kind of thinking I could do mine first and then you do yours because it goes right into our topic of the day. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Got it.
There's also 2 iguanas behind me. Okay, I just want to say. There is a gigantic one to my right, and he is apparently not the happiest thing in the world. And then there's a little teeny tiny one. He was just on this rock right back here. Oh, that's what No, that's what the bartender said. He said that he is a jerk. And that there's another one over there that you can like spoon feed, essentially. You can hand feed that guy. This guy, he's like, no, you just put the fries down and walk away. Like, okay, got it.
You're like, cool, okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to get eaten today. So
yeah, and he's
we'll
gigantic.
roll with that.
And I'm not kidding. Like he is 4 feet from where I'm sitting right now. So he's just chilling. The other one is on this
Can
rock.
we get like
Yeah, he's much smaller.
Can we get a little camera view here?
Oh, God,
of what we got going on?
Okay.
Just
there's the rock. Yeah, that's how close he is.
Where is he?
So I scared him away. I told him I was doing a podcast and to go away, and so
they need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Deuces, dude, deuces. So he's hiding. If he comes out, maybe Kenny will tell me because he's over here just chilling. I took away his shade.
He'll just crawl along the backside.
He's huge.
He'll crawl along the ledge on the backside of your little.
Yeah. So anyways, maybe he'll pop up and we'll be able to put him on. But anyways, okay. So you were gonna do story time. I know, right? He's scary. He's scary. So start with your story. Let's hear it. Because I have not heard it. Let's hear what it is.
So my story time has to deal with a seller calling me, asking me to fire their agent and then to hire me. Right?
Oh.
I mean, you've had I'm sure you've had 1 or 2 of those.
For sure.
Happen.
It's tough to navigate that.
Super awkward.
Yeah.
A little awkward.
Yeah.
So the seller calls me. This is Saturday morning. Been on the market for 6 months. Overall, it's not a bad price point for that neighborhood. Calls me and says, I have been watching your videos. I want to hire you to list my house. And I was like, awesome. Great.
Wow, that's cool.
Perfect. Let's schedule some time for me to come by and take a look at it. And he goes, well, here's the problem. And you're probably going to realize it when you type in my address. And I was like, okay, what's the problem? Are we on the site of like a dump site? Like, what's the problem? He goes, well, my house is already listed with someone currently. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Tell me more. And he's like, my house is listed with this agent. She's not doing any marketing. She's not really even giving me any kind of updates on what's going on with my house or who's coming through or feedback or anything. Like, my house has been on the market for 6 months and I don't know what's going on.
6 months?
6 months.
Holy guacamole. Yeah, bro. Deuces.
Yeah.
Outskis.
Right? Like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
But, you know, in this conversation, I'm trying to figure out, is it really the agent that's having an issue or is it a you problem? Right? You know what I mean? Like, you're looking for the red flags.
Because it can be a you problem, for sure. It's not 100%. Always an agent. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So I was like, so tell me more. What's going on? He's like, well, she's just not doing her job. And I was like, okay, well, I assume when you sat down with them, you talked about expectations, like what you needed, all those things. And he's like, well, no, not really, because, you know, she's a professional. She should know how to do her job. Okay. I mean, that's fair, but, you know, if you have certain expectations, it's always good to communicate those. He's like, no, I'm fine. I was very clear up front what I wanted. I'm not getting anything from her.
Wow.
Okay. Talk to me about the house. What's going on with the house? What is your, you know, how many showings have you had? Do you live in it currently? Like, you know, I'm trying to get the lay of the land. Anyway, we get to the end of this conversation. He tells me all about the house, everything that they've done to date, you know, blah, all the usuals. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. I can't list your house until you have notified your current agent that you want to cancel your listing agreement.
Right, absolutely.
And he goes, great.
Hang on. He has to notify the current agent. You cannot.
He has to notify.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
So he's like, so I tell him this, right? I'm like, you have to notify your agent. And I would do it in writing, whether it's text or email, but you need to notify the agent that you want to cancel your listing. Frankly, I can't really talk to you very much about this until that has happened.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, great. So here's her phone number. Can you give her a call today? And I was like,
did you listen to anything I just said?
I was like, no, I'm not calling her. You're going to call her. And he's like, well, I'm just thinking that, you know, professional to professional may come off better if you call her. I was like,
that's legitimately
I literally can't call her.
Yeah. Legitimately cannot call her. This isn't don't want to.
Also,
this is cannot. And in fact, I shouldn't even be talking to you, but you called me.
Well,
okay.
Right. Yes. So I can take the call because the client called me.
Yep.
So I can have the conversation. And I can sign a listing agreement right now for the date, the one day after their current listing expires. But he doesn't want to wait. Like, he has a year-long agreement, and he doesn't want to wait another 6 months. And I'm like, that's fine, but you have to call and have that conversation. So then he gives me the phone number, asks me to do it. No, can't do that. You have to. He's like, well, I talked to 2 other agents, and they were perfectly fine calling. And I was like, then why are we talking?
Whoa.
Why are we talking then? And he's like, well, I just didn't like, you know, any of their content and the way that they market, blah, blah, blah. They just didn't seem like they had it together like you do. But they were willing to call the agent that you're currently under contract with.
Not okay.
I mean, pick your poison?
Yeah,
like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's sketchy, but okay.
So then I tell him, I was like, you have to call her. You have to let her know. As soon as you've done that, forward me the screenshot of the text message or the email so I know that it's taken place, and then we can have a conversation. He literally sends her an email and copies me on it.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then the agent calls me and is like, what the fuck? Why are you poaching my client? And I'm like, whoa. We have not really talked about anything. He just said he wasn't happy and he wanted to cancel his agreement. I told him he needed to talk to you. This is what he did. Not me. I didn't tell him to do this. I promise. She's like, well, I'm not going to let his listing go. I'm going to withdraw it instead. And I was like,
what?
That's a tactic.
I know, but come on.
But I was like, To what end was my question to her. Right. I'm like, to what end? I was like, what are you trying to accomplish? And she's like, well, I'll let you have the listing if you'll give me a 50% referral fee. No. No, not doing it.
Oh, God.
I was like, I'm not going to give you a referral fee. If you want to tamper with your career in this way and just withdraw the listing instead of canceling it, that's up to you and your broker, who I know, by the way, and probably wouldn't be okay with this strategy. But that's a conversation for the two of you to have.
Yeah.
Now that he has sent that communication to you, though, I am free to talk to him, and I will. But I just need you to understand, like, our intent is to list it. If you decide to withdraw, that's your prerogative. We'll go from there. So you keep me posted. So today I got a follow-up email from her broker letting me know that the listing cancellation had been signed, that I'm free to work with this client. They are not going to withdraw the listing. They are actually canceling it, and all the best. And I was like,
good.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how it should have been.
Not that I want to deal with all that, but at the same time, like,
yeah,
it's not my fault. Anyway, so that's my story time for today. Super awkward conversation, very fun. Don't know that I'm going to take this seller on, frankly. His expectations are interesting, and his communication style sucks.
Oh,
so
great.
We'll
Love
see.
That.
We got to meet first.
Well, if nothing else, you got him out of a situation the correct and ethical way.
Yes.
Even if you don't take the listing on, you still did him a service, which is good of you, regardless if you end up representing him. So good job on you, Jana.
I hear you have a very interesting story time. You actually declined a listing. So
I
do
did.
tell.
I did decline a listing. Hashtag no way. All right. So I had shown this a couple of houses to these clients. They were referred to me by my precious husband. They ended up kind of circumventing not using me and going behind my back and going directly to, they said it was directly the seller. It wasn't, it was an agent. I didn't really care, like, whatever. That's what you guys want to do. That's what you want to do. So a couple of years later, but here's the thing. They ended up calling me throughout the transaction. Like, hey, Moxie, this is what's happening. Hey, Moxie, we have this in inspections. Hey,
Can you
Moxie.
tell me what to do?
Oh, I just want to wring your neck. And then they went to refi and all of these things came up in refi and it was just horrific. So I knew a boatload about this property. Okay. The reason the refi was horrific was because the inspection report from the appraiser. I have never had an appraiser stop a refi for condition in my career. I'm sure it happens. Ever. But like, okay, so we move forward. They are trying to refi. It doesn't work out, right? So they end up deciding just to sell. Well, he calls me and he's like, hey, I want you to list our home. And I was like, okay, here's the disclosure. Oh, no, I'm not disclosing anything. Oh, ooh, buddy, that's a problem. Because you know why that's a problem? I have to disclose latent and material defects. And if the appraisal through your refi didn't happen because of a legitimate latent and material defect, it is my job, my license, my life, my career, my everything if I do not disclose that, but I knew it. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I will not take this listing. And he literally was like, well, I'm not disclosing anything. I said, great. Don't disclose anything. That's your prerogative. I'm out, skis. I'm out. I'm not taking it. Okay. So they go and they list it and it gets listed. They go through this whole long process, whatever. It takes them forever. They ended up selling it to a cash buyer that didn't do inspections because they were tearing down the house anyways. So perfect buyer for them. Well, then I come across the listing agent and I called him one day because I was actually showing one of his listings and I was like, hey, listing agent, you remember this house on XYZ? And he was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, they wouldn't do a disclosure, would they? And he's like, no, they wouldn't do one. And I was like, do you want to know anything about that property? Because I know more than you and you should have disclosed stuff. He's like, I don't want to know anything. I was like, great answer. I won't tell you a single thing. I promise I'm not going to say another word because honestly, the stuff that was known was, I mean, thankfully they sold it to someone that was literally tearing the house down. So it didn't end up mattering. They just wanted the acreage, but the stuff that was known, unbelievable.
Like what?
Like the entire septic system needed to be replaced. There were broken and shattered lateral lines throughout. there was mud and dirt getting into the basement somehow.
Yep.
I'm sorry, these are appraisal issues, severe appraisal, and they cleaned up all the dirt. They I don't know what they did with the septic because I was out of it, but they ended up, they weren't going to disclose anything that they knew about that home, and they'd owned it for long enough. They knew enough about it. So I deuced out a whole listing because I had a client that wanted me to lie for him, and I wasn't willing to do it. But he also ended up being a pretty shady person, and like, I don't know, he's done a lot of really illegal things. It'll catch up to him.
Yeah, clearly was comfortable doing that. So I mean,
and hashtag I'm not. No, absolutely. Your $220,000 house does not matter enough to me, buddy. I'm sorry, not sorry. So anyways, definitely disclosed.
Well, it's funny. I tell my sellers all the time, like, this is your get out of lawsuit free card.
Absolutely.
Put every freaking thing you can possibly think of in this damn seller's disclosure, even if you fixed it 25 years ago.
Yeah. Who cares?
Put it in there.
Put it in there. Because then they can never, ever come back on you, ever.
Nope.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think a lot of people think these sellers' disclosures are tattletaling on themselves, and it's like, no. This is legitimately
you're saving yourself.
You're keeping your butt out of court.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And it was interesting because the foundation issue, whatever that foundation issue was, I feel like I've seen it in other properties, and I feel like it's actually not that big of a deal. So from what I understand, they have these foundations, and then older homes, okay, much older homes. So they have essentially like a dirt floor basement, a completely dirt basement on one side that's typically underneath a porch, and then they put the walls up, but they never finish the floor. And because of that, a lot of dirt ends up accumulating. Well, then they'll sometimes put up these small kind of barrier walls that, the dirt's there, it's fine, it's not a big deal. Sometimes those barrier walls will break, and that dirt then comes into everything. Well, that's when it becomes an issue. If it's purposeful and it's stopped and it's where it needs to be, usually it's fine. It's when those barrier walls break and bring that dirt into the normal living space in a basement, which normally isn't normal living spaces in 1900 homes, but that's where the issues really become problems. So, foundations, girl.
Well, I know we have a lot of issues with foundations in our area. And I mean, that's one thing that we talk about probably quite a bit whenever we're walking into a home. I know that's one of the first places I tend to go first is let's go take a look at the foundation.
Absolutely.
But I think I have found that a lot of people are afraid of certain foundation issues that are actually pretty damn normal where we live. And if addressed properly, aren't as big of a deal, like hairline cracks that are, vertical in nature, coming off of windows, for example. That's another one that's pretty dang common.
Yeah.
But in that situation, like the flooring has no structural value, right? So it's your retaining walls you're talking about that are the big. Were they stone, cement? Like what were they?
I don't remember. I don't know. I've been through so many basements since then. It's unbelievable. I don't know. But I will say to your point, and something that I think we need to talk about more as agents is cracks, especially in Missouri and Kansas. Cracks in foundations are normal. Hairline cracks, normal. It sucks if they're not taken care of, like you said. It can destroy your home. But the main thing that people forget is these cracks happen for one reason, typically one reason and one reason only. I guess it's one of two reasons. The first reason is normal settlement that you really can't do a whole lot about. The second reason, and the biggest reason, and the easiest thing to fix, water.
Yep.
Clean out your
grading
stupid
and
gutters. Yes.
Gutters. Yeah.
Clean out your gutters. Make sure you have really good grading, and something that you mentioned earlier, water your foundation. When it's hot out, people are like, water your foundation. Yes. Water your stupid foundation.
I had a guy, an investor here from California, and he was wrapping up his rehab, and he's like, I don't understand why, like the grading is pulling away from the house and it's leaving this big gap, and then we get these torrential downpour, and then I have water in the basement. I'm like, you have to water your foundation all year round. And he's like, water the foundation? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
You got to, not a lot, you just got to sprinkle it, because the more that ground, that grading expands and contracts and expands and contracts. It actually creates holes in the foundation that just lets more water in. So
Yep. Yeah.
it's one of those things we tell people. It's like, not a big deal. Just water your foundation.
Yeah. And it sounds really stupid. And honestly, since I have so many out-of-state people, I have consistently, I feel like I'm just like a foundation education person when I'm showing houses to out-of-state people, because they either don't have foundations, they don't have rain if they have foundations, they just don't have foundation issues at all. We just live in a climate where that just is something that takes place. And so because of that, I feel like I'm consistently educating people on, this is what happens when it rains. Make sure you clean out your gutters. It's the dumbest thing in the world to think about not having to clean out your gutters. Because my ex-boyfriend in LA didn't even have gutters. He's like, what do you do with gutters?
Pretty common, places that don't get a lot of rain.
Yeah, exactly. You just don't even think about it. So that's something that I wish more people would, education is so important with that. I have a husband who I've had to ram it down his throat. I am talking down his throat about understanding the importance of cleaning out gutters. And he's finally starting to understand, this is why we do this. And when we see the water pouring over the gutter in a torrential downpour, that can also be because that also can be because there's so much water. But at the end of the day, that is more than likely because the gutters didn't get cleaned out. So I know it seems like such a boring topic, but girl, I could go on a soapbox for a year about clean out your stinking dang gutters, because it will save you so much money.
And make sure that your gutters are the right size for the pitch of your roof. Have a roofer come by, make sure that your gutters are the right size, because if you have a really steep pitch roof, you actually need wider gutters because that water's coming down so fast, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely some science to it, but at the same time, just get somebody out to take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's
not that hard.
Usually cost anything.
And gutters are really not that expensive. They really aren't that bad. So, and they'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars.
Thousands and thousands of dollars for reals. Okay. We've got to talk a little bit about some off the record stuff.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Do it.
What the hell did you do to your digits? What happened? What happened to your digits?
My peace sign looks... Can I just tell you right now?
Eyeballs.
I know. Well, there's blood in there. I don't want to show you. It's dried blood, but there's blood. It actually, when we changed it yesterday, more blood had happened. So someone had told me after I did this, she responded to one of my Snapchats and she's like, the throbbing will get you. And she was not kidding. You'll see me after my painkiller wears off. I'm sitting like this, and it's because, above my heart, it stops throbbing. Once I bring it down here, it's boom, 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 boom. All right. So it was a night we were going to do our team Christmas party, and we were going to eat at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it was going to be pretty late. It was about 3. Kenny was going to come home after working all day. And I was like, I'm just going to cook him something really fast. So I had a 15-minute meal. It was a super quick one. I didn't have TV on. I didn't have radio. Nobody was texting me. Nobody was calling me.
No distractions, nothing.
Zero distractions. That's why I'm so mad, I'll be honest. So I was cutting green onions. So when you get a green onion,
those fucking onions.
Green onions. So usually when you cut a green onion, you want to take that outer layer off, right? And that outer layer always kind of looks...
It's all slimy.
It kind of looks slimy. It's icky. It's gross. It's dirty. It's where all the dirt... Well, this one, the outer layer, for the first time in 6 years of getting HelloFresh, the outer layer looked really, really good. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it on there. So I took it off of one, I left it on the other, and I just went to town. And when I tell you I went to town, I looked down, and there was my finger on the cutting board. And I was like, that's not... Oh, okay. Yeah, so I basically cut off about 35% of my nail all the way down. My fingerprint will be different because I cut the entire side of my finger is gone. I think I cut down pretty far, but I'm not really sure. And then I cut off a portion of my middle finger and then a little portion of my nail over there. But that one will probably be fine, grow back fine. This one, I don't think the finger will grow back correctly, and I know I'll have a different fingerprint. So when I sliced it, girl, and it was a clean cut, just right off. Nothing was attached, nothing stayed attached. It was both pieces were just sitting on the cutting board. So in that case, all blood flow severed. It's not, usually when it's that far away from the heart, you can't reattach it. And so there was no reattaching it. There was no stitching it because you couldn't pull the skin. It's not an option. It's not a thing.
They couldn't attach it?
They couldn't attach it. They couldn't stitch it together. They didn't put glue on it. They cleaned it up and put a clotting cloth on and said, bye. And then guess what?
They're like, deuces.
Guess what? I could have come unglued. You will not believe this. Guess what? They were going to make me leave the ER with no pain meds. Zero.
Oh, fuck that.
Pain meds. Zero. I was like, y'all no, I need pain meds. Like I didn't cut my finger off to get pain meds because I'm some sort of junkie.
Right. You're like, this was not on purpose.
Yeah, this was not extreme measures at all. So anyways, they ended up giving me 24 hours, which was not very much, but I went to my PC and they gave me more. So it's helped me survive down here. So yeah, I cut off my finger. But interesting, second day of us being here, we always do a cooking class with Cookin' Cabo. And that's easy. He's our man. I told him I was going to give him a little shout out on here. Cookin' Cabo, if you ever come, he takes you to the markets. You buy produce, you buy meat, you go to his home, and you cook in his commercial style kitchen. Sometimes if it's a bigger group, he'll take you to his restaurant, but it's absolutely phenomenal. It's the coolest experience ever. His kids are running through. We actually watched his kids grow up, which is pretty cool.
Does he cook in your place or do you go to his?
You go to his home. So it's like a cooking class. So he's got a commercial grade kitchen. You buy all the product, you go to his home. He makes margaritas and pico and guacamole. And this time we made cheese enchiladas.
Delicious.
It was spectacular. I mean,
Mexican food is my favorite.
You would absolutely die for this. If you're ever coming to Cabo, look up Cookin' Cabo and go and have a good day with Izzy. It's so much fun. So anyways, we go to this cooking class 3 days after I sliced my freaking finger off, and I got PTSD. I don't even want to pick up a knife right now, much less think about cooking.
Anything to do with it.
So I literally was just like an ornament. I'm just here for me one margarita because I'm on painkillers. I'm
just going to be the decoration.
Yep. I'm on painkillers. I'm a little stoned, so I'll take one margarita, please. And that was it. That's all I had was one stupid margarita. But anyways, it was really cool though. And then after, we go to this little bar that's on the marina in Cabo. It's called Sancho's. She's actually from Houston. She's an American. She's a Dallas Cowboys fan. But
those bitches.
We love this bar. We've actually given a Chiefs flag to the bar, so they have it hanging on the bar. And we're sitting there, and these people are in their ugly Christmas sweaters. And so we're like, why is everybody? So I asked her, I was like, Margot, are you guys having your Sancho's Christmas party? And she's like, no. They're doing actually the boat Christmas light parade in the marina. And I was like, can we get on a boat? She's like, yeah, absolutely. Sure. Why not? So we ended up on like this 65-foot yacht, Viking yacht thing, like gigantic, beautiful 3-deck. Yeah, just a simple boat. Guy. The DJ, they flew the DJ in from freaking Chicago. All you can eat food, all you can drink. Like we just had, and all just a bunch of strangers, just a bunch of people that we don't know, just having a good time. And so here was the cool part. We did the sunset part. We came back and then,
hold on. There are some small children like murdering themselves in the background.
They're not going to stop. No,
what's
they're not
happening?
They're not going to stop. They're just playing with each other. Moms have gotten involved and it's just all a fucking disaster at this point. Okay, so we do the sunset thing. We go out and then Carnival has a big cruise line there. And so we end up doing a 26 boat circle laps around the Carnival cruise ship. And that was our parade, essentially. So it was really cool. It was, and like we left 7 minutes before, or we got our tickets 7 minutes before they were leaving. So like we just randomly said, okay, can we join? And they were like, sure, go ahead.
Sure.
So, yeah,
the
so
more
it was
the
really
merrier.
cool.
Did anybody have some salsa dancing? Has there been any like?
No, Kenny got him to play like 90s rap and it was jamming. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. So anyways, that's my stories for the week as far as off the record. Come to Cabo. It's so much fun. Go to Sancho's, go to Cookin' Cabo. It's a blast. We've had so much fun so far.
Sounds amazing. The water crashing on the beach behind you is just
it's for
so
real,
relaxing.
Man. It's the kids screaming has been just delightful. Hang on, let me do that again. The kids screaming has been just delightful. That's what I meant to say.
It's been amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, I was hoping that you were going to be able to like, you know, give us your meditation minute in Cabo. So maybe you'll need to like, I don't know, go down to the beach and just walk along and like take a video of your feet on the beach, you know, just walking along. So we have something, right?
Okay. I have some video actually. It's pretty good.
And now, a minute with Moxie. We now return to Jana and Moxie.
Kind of interesting. So you're kind of, you know, resetting yourself in Cabo, which is awesome. And I love that. I've never been. I desperately would love to go sometime. We're going to make it happen this year. Definitely. Because either there or the Dominican. Now I have really enjoyed the Dominican, so might have to go.
Cool.
I don't know, one or the other. But one of my kind of like off the record things right now is I'd gone to this mastermind that I have had on the books for a long time. Like it's a monthly mastermind and it's with this agent that I followed her career for a long time. We were at the same brokerage for a hot minute. We're now not at the same brokerage, but she just has this really interesting view on, I don't know, the business and life. And so she's got this, the Leadership Council is what it's called. And it's this mastermind of mostly like brokers, team leaders, people who've invested and are like really, really working through some leadership challenges. And so we're having this mastermind and she's talking about like, she has this word every year. So every year they, as a team, come up with their word for the year. And as she was talking about it and whatnot, and like I came back and we're kind of talking to my group about it, I'm like, it really kind of helped provide some perspective for me, like really thinking about setting a tone. Like I'm all about goals. I'm all about numbers. I've got spreadsheets for days, like calculating probabilities and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And she's kind of like a little bit more in tune with like the natural world, I guess I should say. But after I came back and I'm talking to my group about it, we came up with our word for the year, which is abundance. And like thinking about how you create abundance. Oh my God, this child needs to be whacked.
It's not going to stop.
It's so entertaining.
She's over here like just being the world's largest brat.
Is mom like ready to pull her hair out?
Dad is.
Dad's ready. He's like, this is it. We're going up to the room. You're taking a fucking nap.
It's an infinity pool, and he is thinking like to infinity and beyond her ass over.
He's like launching her into. Okay.
Anyway. Abundance. Your word is abundance.
Yes. So we were talking through abundance and like what that means, and it actually really kind of helped me reset some of my expectations. You know, I've been involved with some committees, involved with some boards, and I'm really kind of thinking about how I approach getting re-engaged in the community, because it's one thing that since Jeremy passed away 2 years ago yesterday, not been a great week. Yeah, it was 2 years ago yesterday. I've really been thinking about the things that I'm really passionate about: houselessness, LGBTQ plus initiatives, financial literacy, and like disabled individuals, like really trying to find some boards and some committees to like really get on and engage the community in this world of abundance, right? And talking about all these really important topics. And so that's my off the record this week, is really kind of been focusing on how I'm re-engaging with the community. And
that's awesome.
I don't know, I'm kind of excited about it. It's been a while.
That'll be a really good launch for 2024, I'm sure.
Okay, left field listing. Let's take a peek. All right. So I wanted to look at this guy. This is the Flintstones meets Jurassic Park house.
What is happening?
Get ready for it.
What
okay.
is going on?
Look at this flat roof in the middle of nowhere. Like it's kind of like can you see it okay? Do you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, no, I can see it fine.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay, flat roof, lots of windows. What the fuck is this shit?
Oh
We're
yeah,
literally in the Flintstones.
Jurassic Park. Yeah, is that a plant?
There are so many of them. Wait,
Are
look
there
at this.
plants inside?
There are live
What has
planted.
happened?
Those suckers are planted.
Oh, so this is purposeful.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How much is this house listed for?
This one is in it's in Wisconsin. 1.45 million.
Wow.
Perfectly.
That's fancy.
This is my favorite.
These kids are getting closer.
Perfectly tailored for an outdoor enthusiast who may want to live with palm trees and an indoor pond.
So this is purposeful. Okay.
This is intentional. Yeah, check this out. It gets so much better. Look.
This is crazy.
Look at this huge pond. What do you think happens there? Do you think they cook people in there? Like it's a human pizza oven?
All the fun things. Jana, they're now about 3.5 feet away from me.
Okay.
I told you Mom got involved and it's all gone downhill from there. Because now they can go to the deep end, which is where I am.
Oh, Lordy.
And
Good
now she's going
times.
to teach her how to swim.
Look. Van Gogh.
Hey, I'm just glad we made it as far as we did, okay?
I'm going to go back to the freezing cold fucking Midwest while you go enjoy your teenies, your drinks, and your poor digits.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. Thank you for enjoying the wind. Here's the wind again. It's just here. It is what it is.
Screaming children and all.
You also get the screaming children, the splashing, the waves. There's a wave. The stupid animal never came out. What was it called? A gecko? A lizard?
The iguana.
I don't know what it is.
The iguana.
Yeah, there's one over the wall. You can almost see it. He's like chilling on the wall. But anyways, this has been great. Thanks for hanging.
Yes. Good
Sorry
times.
for all the noise. I hope you guys
all
loved
good.
my background, and
Yes.
we'll see you later.
Later,
Bye.
Gator.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We know you're probably potty watching or avoiding doing something domestic today, and we're glad you found us instead.
If you've got a crazy real estate story to share,
Burning questions you want the real tea spilt on,
or maybe you want to sponsor our little production, we want to hear from you. Shoot us an email so that we can collaborate. And until next time, guys,
we'll be a hot mess, and you keep doing you, boo-boo.
make it a great day.